Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi wahda. Wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da. Amma ba'd. So the lesson we used to do on Saturday, we moved it to Sunday for the fact that there is a lot of issues with people and other commitment that people had. So I thought it'd be better that we merge it together with our Sunday session and become a bit more formal. So on Saturdays for the last few months, we've been doing some tafsir of Quran. So we did complete, alhamdulillah, Surah-Yusuf. We completed that. Then we started Surah-Hujuraat. So this is 5th lesson on Surah-Hujuraat. Should be able to see the screen if you wanted to come this way. And then after that, we do our Arba'in of Imam Nawawi, 40 hadith of Imam Nawawi. And then after that, we do fiqh. So today we fiqh of wudu, inshallah ta'ala. So let's do the first one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallimu ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Innamal mu'minuna ikhwatun fa aslihu bayna akhawaykum wattaqullaha la'allakum turhamun. Sadaqallahu al-azim. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this particular ayah number 10 of Surah Al-Hujurat says the believers are brothers to each other. So make settlement between your brothers and fear Allah that you may receive His mercy. If you fear and be pious, Allah would send His mercies upon you. So the background was there was a trouble between two tribes of Aus and Khazraj. These are the two tribes in Medina. There was some argument and they started having a bit of significant altercation and then it started fighting with tree branches and slippers. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam obviously intervened and then calmed them down. Likewise, there was another incident where there was a man from Ansar and his name was Imran and his wife Zayd. They had a bit of argument and then he said that you can't visit your mom and dad anymore. Again, many people do that. Shouldn't do that. Find out what's the best solution rather than trying to take all in your hand. And people do that and thereby cause a lot of rifts and problems. So don't do that. Be generous and gentle, inshallah ta'ala. But anyway, he did it. This was just so that we can learn from. Anyway, so he locked the wife up. Then she managed to mention this through someone to her brothers. The brothers came and they started fighting and there was a lot of argument. But anyway, so finally they found that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was aware and he came and he advised them and mashallah they all listened to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the right. That's the listening to the authority. They both agreed whatever Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. So that's beside this. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this particular ayah and this is talking about the brotherhood. So the brotherhood in Islam is a very good and big topic that we will inshallah ta'ala go into detail of. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elsewhere mentioned وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذْ كُنْتُمْ أَعْدَاءً فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا. Allah says that hold firmly onto the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together and do not be divided. Remember the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you were enemies to each other. Allah brought your hearts together and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you as a favor brother to each other. The brother to each other. Ikhwan. Akh. We say akhi, my brother. Ya akhi, akhi. Listen to me. Akhi, like this. So ikhwan. Ikhwan, brothers. Plural of akh. And ukhuwah is the brotherhood. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he migrated from Makkah to Medina, what did he do? He made the brotherhood between each family. So one companion from Ansar, the supporters, one from Muhajirun, the migrator. He made them, each of them as a couple. So they became brother. They literally supported each other as the true brother. And this is the many amazing story about that, inshallah ta'ala. When we finish our seerah or where we come to this level, then we will inshallah ta'ala know how Ansar and Muhajirun helped each other. They were literally better than brothers today, to be honest. Amazing people, mashallah. This is Surah Al-Imran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر ويقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة ويطيعون الله ورسوله أولئك سيرحمهم الله إن الله عزيز حكيم. That believing men and women, they are allies to one another. They are friends of each other. They enjoin what is right and they forbid what is wrong and evil. And they establish prayer, they give charity, they obey Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah will have mercy. Those who do this, Allah will have mercy upon them, and Allah is Almighty and wise. Surah Tawbah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, يَقُولُونَ, and these people, those who are believers, they just do everything for the sake of Allah. They just lay their life in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they prefer their brethren over them, above themselves. And they say, يَقُولُونَ, and then they make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لَنَا وَلِإِخْوَانِنَا الَّذِينَ سَبَقُونَا بِالْإِيمَانِ وَلَا تَجْعَلْ فِي قُلُوبِنَا غِلًّا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا رَبَّنَا إِنَّكَ رَءُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. So they say, oh our Lord, forgive us and our brothers who preceded us in faith, and put not in our hearts any resentment, any ill feeling towards those who have faith. Like among believers, there should be no animosity, no hatred, no rancor, no malice, no ill feeling, because this would cause people to not be forgiven even on the night when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would forgive the sins of almost everyone. There are only three types of people on that night, and this night is Laylatul Bara'ah, Laylatul Bara'ah, Shab-e Bara'ah. We call it Shab-e Bara'ah, Laylatul Bara'ah, Laylatul Nisf min Sha'ban, the middle of Sha'ban, the month before Ramadan. In that month, Sha'ban and then Ramadan, yeah. So just before Ramadan is Sha'ban. The 15th night, after 14 days pass, is 15th night, and that is Laylatul Bara'ah. On that night, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah forgive the sin of every individual, even if they have sins, like huge amount of sins. So the explanation, the expression Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used, as the number of the hair follicle on the hide of the sheep of Bani Kalb. So Bani Kalb were known to have very hairy, sheep. On the hide, however many hair, that is the amount of sin if someone has, Allah will forgive. And that many people as well. So all of the tribe and all of their sheep, thousands, everyone together. So if there was sin like this, Allah will forgive. Except then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made exception. Number one, the one who is doing shirk. Shirk is associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That person would not be forgiven even on that night, obviously. Second is the qatil, someone who has innocently killed someone. He wouldn't be forgiven on that night until he gets forgiveness from that individual. Third one is the mushahin, the one who has any rancor, ill feeling for someone. Hatred, kadura, ill feeling. I don't like you for some reason. I just hate you. Or I don't have any good feeling about you. Rather ill feeling. You may be neutral, but you can't have ill feeling for a Muslim brother or sister. Not at all. No matter what they have done. You may not have good feeling, but can't have bad feeling. So make sure that we do not do that. Otherwise, even on that night, we won't be forgiven. So this is what's with the dua. Ya Allah, don't keep us and make us like those who have this ill feeling towards our Muslim brother. Again, Surah Hashr. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained in this beautiful hadith of Abu Musa al-Ashari radiyallahu ta'ala. He said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, while he did like this, shabbaka bayna asabi'ihi, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam put his blessed fingers into one another, tashbik, and said, al-mu'minu lil-mu'mini kal-bunyan, yashuddu ba'duhu ba'da. A believer to another believer is like a building, where the part of it is strengthened the other part. So every brick established and it stands so strongly that it holds onto the one above here and there. So all of those, support that everyone gets. This is hadith Sahih al-Bukhari. So different parts enforce and support and strengthen each other. The believers do that. Another hadith Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, مثل المؤمنين في توادهم وتراحمهم وتعاطفهم مثل الجسد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى له سائر الجسد بالسهر والحمى. Subhanallah, beautiful hadith. And this is from Nu'man ibn Bashir. He said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the parable of a believer is like about their love, about their care, about their compassion for each other, is like a body where there was some pain in bit of it. A part of a limb is being affected, got cut, got a wound. So what the whole body does, it feels the pain. Whole body is aching for that pain. The eye doesn't say, since it's your problem, you carry on, I'm sleeping. Whole body feels the pain. You shed tears for that. Whole body feels the pain. Whole body stay up. Everything starts working for it. Whole body feel the fever. A fever is everywhere in the body, not just in that area. That's the parable. Whole body becomes sleepless and have the fever. This is how we feel when we find someone, some of our brothers in the world. It is for your family, for your neighborhood, for whole country, everywhere, that we should feel for everyone. Hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Never ever sit next to each other. Straight there. You're not allowed. It's Samya. Yeah. Afterwards, Man naffasa am mu'minin kurbatan min kurabi dunya. Now, what would happen if you show your brotherhood? If you stay together, help each other out. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam given a very beautiful, chance to win over on the day of judgment, a lot of reward, a lot of blessings. He said that whoever removes a hardship from a believing Muslim, someone who's in trouble, you just remove that hardship from that individual. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would remove that one harm and hardship from you on the day of judgment. What is the hardship that we'll be facing on the day of judgment? Don't want to go to hellfire. Allah said, okay, there you go. We won't send you to hellfire. So, and then he says, whoever helps to ease one in difficulty, Allah will make it ease for him in this world and in the hereafter, both ways. Whoever conceals the faults of some Muslim, Allah will conceal his fault and in this world and in the hereafter. Allah will help his servant as long as he is helping his brother. So more you help someone out, the more you will get support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hadith in Sahih Muslim or Sahih Hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in another hadith said, Allahu Akbar, anyone who makes dua for his brother in his absence, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would send an angel to make dua for that individual for that. So you said, oh Allah, bless him. Angel is telling me, oh, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, bless him. So my tongue, that could make a dua, but I'm sinful. I can't be as sincere. Angels are sinless. For them to make dua for me, what is better? So that is why when we say, please make dua for your father, for your sister, for your brother, for your parents, for your mother, for your Muslim, non-Muslim friends as well. May Allah guide them all, because they're all our party. We're same against shaitan, against the Dajjal, the tool of shaitan. So we're together in this. So when you make dua with your sincerity, thinking that I would get the dua from my angels. Some of the angels will be making dua for me, but we don't do it. You ask for dua? Yeah, I will. When? Do it then and then. Take this opportunity, make dua for yourself. But we are so stingy, isn't it? Learn to have that, inshallah ta'ala. Again, Sahih Muslim. And what damages? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, as Anas bin Malik radhiyallahu ta'ala said, when you start hating each other, that damages the brotherhood, obviously. Very clear. You can't be brother and hate each other. Envy is another thing. I see your nice, new mobile phone or your car or some new clothing that you had, and I start thinking, I want that. Why has he got that? Why is that they got this? Why they are so lucky to have this? We don't have. Me, you keep thinking. It gives you the envy, the hasad, jealousy, and that is a killer. And as you know of the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it would take and would eat and devour all your good deeds like fire devours the dry wood. Quickly, very quickly. And likewise, so do not turn your away, turn your backs. So he needs some help, and you say, I'm not talking to you. Not allowed in Islam. Not allowed. So you can't boycott a Muslim for more than 3 days if there was a reason for that, even with the reason. Okay? You can't. So make sure that we learn those things, otherwise it will just damage our relationship. Likewise, having bad assumptions. Assuming, oh, he must have said it for that reason. She would have done that because she was meaning it. Looking at someone's gesture, someone's style, someone's talk, and all the story I've made up on my own. He was looking at me like this because he hates me. Because he was sitting like that, his attitude was. because I made him come this way. That's why he's swearing at me. That is assumption, a wrong assumption. Haram. You cannot have assumptions about people. Since I told you off, see, that is why he's the one who complained about me to this and this, and that's why I'm in trouble. See, he made badua against me. He was swearing, whatever. Never have bad opinion of anyone. Always look at face value, whatever they say. Don't have to go beyond that. Whatever I say, that's how it is. That is why Sahaba had amazing behavior, attitude. Their demeanor was amazing. If you said something, many a time they would say, apologies, my judgment was wrong. I must have looked something wrong. I don't blame that you're lying. So, no, I never meant it. Stop. So then I take back. They would step back straight away without, to the point that sometimes they've seen and they know, but they would step back. If someone said, by Allah, I haven't done it. They say, okay, then my eyes lied and I won't blame you because you're saying in the name of Allah. You haven't lied. There's a report about Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. He once said, he saw someone committing bad. So what are you doing? I didn't do anything, he said. Sayyidina Isa said, okay, then my eyes lied. And he said, by Allah. It's okay. I will take your words. Turn around. People wouldn't judge each other. To the point, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala, he was in this battlefield, as you know the story. What will happen? The man was trying to kill him, and he's trying to overdo him. But they both fighting. Finally, he managed to tackle him, and Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala, he is now is about to stab him. So he literally took his dagger and he's about to kill him. The man spat on Sayyidina Ali's face. What would happen? He left him because he was not having any animosity or rancor for his personal reason. Sayyidina Usama radiallahu ta'ala, in another battlefield, he was fighting with another man. And that man, as he was about to be killed by Usama radiallahu ta'ala, the son of Sayyidina Zayd, yeah. So man said, Hadith in Bukhari, the man said, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah. I said, I believe in Allah. I want to be Muslim. What do you think? What was the reason why he wanted to be Muslim? He was fighting a second ago. Clear that there's no assumption. This is clear. He took the shahada. He said the kalima to save his life. Yes? But do you know for sure in the heart? What is in the heart? So Usama radiallahu ta'ala, he was young. He said he's doing it for that reason. He stabbed him and killed him. They came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then he realized, did I do right or did I do the wrong thing? He came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I killed a man, but he said kalima. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did you do? And he said kalima and you killed him. Said, Ya Rasulullah, because he did it only to save his life. Did you open his chest? Did you see inside the heart? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept saying it. Sayyidina Usama said, I wish I became Muslim on that day, like after this incident, because it would have washed my sins away. And Sahaba were sitting there, they were all very scared that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so unhappy and angry that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might send the punishment for the whole community for that one action, which is very obviously, it wasn't as assumption, but not like a baseless assumption. It was very, very clear assumption. Remember, assumptions when there's no basis is big haram. But when there is evidence to support it or suggest it, there is a leeway. But there was a lot of leeway here fiqh-wise. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wouldn't let any of his companions to go anything beyond that 100%. And kalima, even if he said it for that reason, so what? I would have sorted it out. It would have been my issue. He said kalima, how could you even dare come near him? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, how would you save yourself, Usama, on the day of judgment against this kalima? This kalima would come in front of you. Usama paid a lot of money to ask for forgiveness. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually also paid the ransom money for this man, diyat money. So that's how our religion is, Bukhari. So there are many, many rights of believers, but 6 are mentioned in certain narrations. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what are the 6 rights for believers? A Muslimu ala al-Muslim, lil Muslimu ala al-Muslim, lil Muslimi ala al-Muslimi, sittatun. Six rights. Number one, so they should say salam when you meet each other, and you say salam, you should say wa alaikum salam. That's a good right to fulfill. And when you invite someone, so someone should respond to it. Say, yes, I'm coming to this invitation. If someone invites you to food or party or whatever, provided this is halal gathering, no mixed gathering, no music, no photography, stuff like that, then you cannot say no to that invitation because I don't want to go. You cannot, as a believer, reject someone's invitation. Yes, you might not be able to do on that day for another reason. Oh, I've got my exams, I can't. Can I just do it some other time? But you stop seeing that person or stop attending the invitation, you have done a injustice. That dhulm would be darkness on the day of judgment. Someone says salam to you, you said, I'm not going to say wa alaikum assalam. It's wajib to say wa alaikum assalam. And then if they sneezed and they say alhamdulillah, they have to say alhamdulillah before you say yarhamukallah. If they didn't, then they haven't got the right to expect you to say yarhamukallah. Otherwise you should be saying yarhamukallah. May Allah help you or bless you, meaning. And also when they're sick, you have to visit them. You find someone is sick, they just had their operation, they've been in the hospital, and you haven't got any decency to go and see them, to at least call them. No. Let us be in our world and let them be in their world. Again, committing oppression, dhulm, darkness on the day of judgment. And then loving for your brother what you love for yourself. How would you like to be treated? You have to do the same for your brother. Again, hadith in Tirmidhi. So in another narration, same rights, but subtle difference. One is to fulfill their right. How to fulfill one of the rights is to attend to their janazah as well. Okay, you have to go and attend to their janazah if they die. So that's a right of a believer as well. And when they seek advice, give them sentence. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam likewise. So then you sever your relationship. I'm not going to see this person. And it includes all the relationships. You cannot be a qati'ur rahim. Anyone which is your blood relative, whether you like them or not, they may be the worst of the worst. You still have to obey and the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Still have to obey the command of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by visiting them. Or at least not having the breakage of the relationship. You can't sever the ties of relationship. Since I don't like you as my uncle or cousin or dada or nana or chachi or whoever, I'm not going to see you. My in-laws, I don't want to see them. Haram. Can't do that. You might not have time to see them because we live here and they live in a different country. It's been COVID, so 5 years, no one has seen anyone. 3 years. But you get opportunity and you have time. You say, I would rather be here. Mom, I'm not coming to Pakistan. You go and see your parents. I don't like going there because I don't like them. They're bad people or whatever. Maybe they're backward or whatever you feel about them. Inshallah, you'll be sorted out properly on the day of judgment because this is darkness. Darkness on the day of judgment. Remember that. Rasulullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about this is وَيَقْطَعُونَ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِي أَن يُوصَلَ وَيُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. This is corruption in the land. When they do the qat'i, when they do the severing of the relationship. وَيَقْطَعُونَ قَطْعُ الرَّحِمِ. Don't do that at all. This is the way of shaitan. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the one who cuts off his family will not enter paradise. Means it would not enter paradise directly. They would have to go to hellfire and then after taking their punishment and their sentence, come back to Jannah. If you can't go for a reason and that's fine. If you have not got the means to go financially, that's a different matter. But your heart is connected. You still call them. Maybe they have been very, very bad. Maybe they have been so bad that you want to be safer. Stay away from them. They may do some magic, or if you feel, again, bad suspicion, assumptions. Make sure that you have good reason behind that. Otherwise, you'll be muflis on the day of judgment. Or they are just, you think they're bad. But they haven't done anything. But you're doing it because you heard someone saying about or against them. They have never mistreated you. I do it because my dad doesn't like them, so I don't like them either. Who are you to just, no, don't do that. Don't judge them. Yes, you can still have hello, hi, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam on your own. This is your responsibility. And that's another problem for the modernity, that they want you to be in your small cocoon. Be like crazy in your cocoon. And now don't think outside of that. It's you, your life, and this, and you feel very happy. You see there. Don't do that. And if you want to stay away from them, that's fine, for the fact that they are too dangerous for you. If you really have had bad experience, but again, take scholarly advice on that. Is it okay, or am I just being over sensitive about it? And please have hello, hi, assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. It doesn't harm you. For many a time we do it for personal grudges. I'm more interested in my friend, who may be whoever they are, who old there, whatever. But I don't want to see my uncle, my aunt, my this and that. Craze. We are causing, see how much is there to be on the track to go to Jannah, but we cause problem in every different, so all the subjects we are failing by D or E grades, not just one. Everywhere there's a problem. Everywhere there's a problem. Give me one thing that you think you can present to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, this is something I hope that it would take me to Jannah without any questioning here. Everything. The only thing you perhaps could say is my faith. When I dissect it, Allah knows where we stand. There may be problem there. I'm not saying all of that to make you feel dejected and completely despondent, hopeless, thinking that, oh, we're doomed. No. Just to wake up call. Come on, learn, improve your situation. There are still scholars around to teach you. Very soon you wouldn't have any, as the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Clear instruction. It's a very, very scary. The most scariest of the hadith is this one. One of the scariest one is this one. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not take away the knowledge of deen by snatching it away from the hearts of people. Rather, he would take away the ilm of deen by taking the lives of scholars. The scholar will continue to die one after the other until there will be no alim left in this world. And people would go and ask the non-scholars who are ignorant themselves, and they would take their fatwa. They would give fatwa, they would take their fatwa, they would be misguided themselves, and they would be misguiding others. And this is the situation that we live in. उनको टेक्स्ट कर दीजिए कि इधर से सामने से हट के वो स्क्रीन को नीचे कर दे, कोई एक किसी के जरिए राब्ता करवा के कह दे, इस पे नॉक कर दे, इस पे नॉक कर दीजिए उनको, विंडो पे नॉक कर दीजिए, just move away from here. ख्याल नहीं आया होगा. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in another hadith, sorted here. No sin deserves quicker punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his doer in this world, along with what is prepared for him in the hellfire, in the life hereafter. He'll be punished there. But what is one sin that would cause you more trouble and the quickest ever is transgression, means fisq, disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sinning openly, and severing the family ties. Severing the family ties is the sin that would give you trouble in this world ASAP, earliest. That is why when many people, they say, oh, I'm trying my job, I'm trying this and that, I'm not getting any job, or I'm not getting any luck with my business or family or children or whatnot. The first question scholars would ask is, other than major sins, but they would ask, is your money halal or not? Number one. Number two, have you severed the ties of relationship? Those are the two questions. Ask anyone who has ever done counseling with a proper scholar. These are the two questions they would ask. Given the fact that they are not into major sins. Fifth means major sins outwardly, publicly. Isn't that enough for people to wake up and behave normally? No, it's just our arrogance. I want my individual, my space, my time, my family, my this and that. This is just arrogance. Tirmidhi. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given how to tackle all of that. Anas bin Malik radiyallahu ta'ala said, "La yu'minu ahadukum hatta yuhibba li akhihi ma yuhibbu li nafsihi." None of you has faith until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. When you start thinking that line, what would I want if I were there? Even if I was wrong and I've oppressed you, what do I want? If I was here, what would you think if you oppressed me? So for example, I oppress you and you put me in that position. What would you expect? To be forgiven or not? just forgive that person as well. Be open and nice. What would you expect if you were a grandfather and your grandson is not visiting you? What would you expect? I want him visiting me at least on Eid day or whatever day. My aunt, cousin, this and that. What do you expect? Because we do not look at things like this, we are causing ourselves many, many troubles. Our attitude, our behavior is just all foul. And it will continue to be like this until we repent and turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bukhari and Muslim. And another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made the same statement about the neighbor. You like for your neighbor, love for your neighbor what you love for yourself. Don't trouble them. Muslim and non-Muslim alike, by the way. The scholars, Imam Nawawi, for example, the greatest of the Imam Nawawi, the one who has written this book, 40 Arba'in, the many scholars who wrote 40 hadith collection. He said this is for Muslim and non-Muslim alike. What you would like for your non-Muslim. If God forbid you were non-Muslim, what would you expect a Muslim to do to you, your neighbor or your friend? What would you expect? To guide you in the best way. The best thing is to guide them towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you should have that feel, Ya Allah. At least make dua for them. What would you do? Can't be bothered. That's his choice. Let him be. He's been hellfired. You know that. And you have no concern about it. So you're not even a proper Muslim yourself. Because la yu'minu ahadukum. You have not believed properly until you love for your brother, your neighbor, your friend, anyone. And your brother in Islam and your brother in humanity. As other scholars mention, Imam Ibn Hajar al-Haytami, he said the same thing. This is the brother in humanity, Muslim, non-Muslim. When we say brotherhood, same thing goes for sisterhood. There's no distinction. Sisters should be doing the same thing. Is that clear? So we have to do that. We have to have that respect and honor for everyone. Open your heart up for us. Imam Munawi in Fayd al-Qadir said the same thing. There are many. And then Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, it is not allowed for a Muslim who hears a word from his brother to assume evil of him if he can find something good about it. Means when you hear something, or he did something wrong, try to justify that. Maybe that was the reason. There's a weak narration, but a very, very important one. If you find someone, the hadith goes like this. If you find someone going away from the masjid at the time of salah, you say, what is happening? I'm coming to masjid, he's going away from the masjid. Have 100 opinions, have fine, they say 70 excuses. Maybe he has prayed. No, this is not time just starting in the next minute or so. Maybe he's going to a different masjid on that side, but there's no masjid on that side. Maybe he would come later on, but he never came. So find all the, even if you don't find any of those 70 excuses in him, say that there may be excuse that Allah knows I don't know. Even then, you shouldn't be questioning him, having bad opinion about him. Yeah, if you're sincere and you know that there is a problem, inshallah, tell someone who is senior, sensible, who would guide him and teach him, inshallah. So again, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala, this is his stance I just mentioned, yeah. And then Ja'far ibn Muhammad, rahmatullah, he said, if you hear something from your brother that you reject, make an excuse for him up to 70 excuses. If you cannot do it, then say perhaps he has an excuse I do not know. Shu'ab al-Imam of Imam Bayhaqi. Amazing, isn't it? So how do you nurture that? We have to have that love, without which we won't be a proper Muslim. And once we have that love, it was very, very easy to do everything that is there. That's one thing. If you just get in love with your human being, everyone, you know what? Everything will be sorted out. Because you do not need to act upon, oh, let me just get rid of this sin and that sin and nurture this. Just have the love for humanity. And that's one thing that all prophets had in common. Every prophet has so many things in common, but this love, the concern, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would make dua to whole humanity, everyone. He would stay up all night in sajda, all in sajda, just making dua for everyone, Muslim, non-Muslim, everyone. He would stand up in prayer making dua. On the day of judgment, he would be in sajda crying and crying and crying to the point that when sun is really so low, everything would be evaporated. Yet he would be able to shed tears in such an amount that it would just wet his sajda place, where he's on. And he would say, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say, Ya Muhammad, sal tu'ta. Irfa ra'sak. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, raise your hand. Ask, we give you what you want. We'll make you happy with what you want. And that's what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would do. And there will be, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I would be in that sajda for everyone for many, many years. It's not going to be just 1 minute or no, long, long time. According to this world standard, because that day is about 1,000 days. Long, long day. He had that to the point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ, perhaps you're going to kill yourself for these people that do not believe. For non-believers, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had that much concern. We do not have that concern for our Muslim brothers, sisters, our parents even, our children. We do not have that concern to save them from hellfire. Isn't that amazing? See how low we have gone down to. How low we have gone down to. And then we hope, oh, things would be better. No, it doesn't work like that. It's all cause and effect. Whatever you do, you're going to reap the same. So understand the value, which we have, I think I have alluded to almost everything related to that, but there'll be many more things that I just left because it'll be too long a session. But just understand the value and Islamic injunctions about this. If you do not want to do it from the depth of your heart, at least know the ruling. The more you know, the better chances that you would, inshallah ta'ala, act upon that. So learn the rights. Make dua. Start off with the dua. Ya Allah, give me the love from everyone. Ya Allah, open my heart and take all the rancor away from it, the hatred away from my heart. Make dua. Even if you don't want to do it, just make dua. You know, with takalluf. And then beseech Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open your heart. Spread salam. The salam is another thing. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you say salam to people, it opens up your heart. It gives you muhabbat for someone. Because you're saying, may Allah's peace be upon you. May Allah's peace be upon you. His mercies be upon you. His blessings be upon you. The person would say, even if he didn't mean it, he still would say it. And slowly, it would gel people down. And then gifts. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, for spreading salam, that hadith would suffice where he said, Subhanallah. Afshu salam bainakum. Spread salam among yourselves. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said, you know, do you want to go to Jannah straight away? He said, obviously people would. It's okay. Spread salam. And 2 rakat, few nafils in tahajjud, night time when people are sleeping. And feed the hungry and poor people. And maintain the ties of relationship. To be in Jannah without any trouble, without any question. Afshu salam. Wa at'imu at-ta'am. Wasilu al-arham. Wasallu bil-layli wan-nasu niyam. Tadkhulu al-jannata bis-salam. Go to Jannah with all these, enough. Easy. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the counter flip side of this is, he said, Wallahi, you would not enter Jannah until you start loving each other. You can't enter Jannah until you start loving each other. He said, and then shall I tell you what would increase your love? No, he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the detailed hadith is, you would not enter Jannah until you become a believer. And you cannot become believer until you learn to love each other. And you would not love each other. And shall I tell you what is going to help you to become beloved to each other, or start loving each other? He said, say salam to each other. So again, let me just rephrase the hadith. You'll make it easy, inshallah. So you would not enter Jannah until you become believer. And you would not be a believer until you love your Muslim brother, or your brother in Islam and humanity, inshallah. And shall I tell you what would increase your love or give you love for your brothers? Say salam to each other. Next, sacrifice. You have to be patient. You know, they have done something wrong, be patient. They're asking for your time, do it for the sake of Allah. They're asking for your advice, do it. Every so often, not pushing you in a very difficult position. Don't overdo it, but every so often. So don't be so selfish, self-centered. Have tolerance for each other, inshallah ta'ala. And keep reminding gently, without getting frustrated, without scolding, without telling off. Okay? Teachers are exception. Parents are exception. They might need to tell you off sometime because that's their way to nurture. It's like, when you herding a big crowd of sheep, like, or cattle of any sort, what do? Some of them just go straight. What do? You have to shout. Sometimes you even whip them a bit here and there. But that's the gentleness. The teachers are teachers. So when I do it, don't question that. Because if I'm not doing it for Allah's love and the love for yourselves, then that's wrong. It's not going to benefit. So then I would go and ask my teacher and they would sort me out. I get the same bashing from my teachers. So you can be rest assured that I get more bashing than you can think of. Because we all need to be nurtured, isn't it? That's why we go to our teacher and sit like this. And those who are close to me, they know. Our sheikh, we show our utmost respect. I hope that we do. We try at least. So don't worry. Our teachers are there, inshallah. So you don't need to worry about us, but you need to just make dua for us and complain to them if we are doing something wrong as teachers. And finally, if you made a mistake or they made a mistake, there's no harm in apologizing. That's a pride that stops us from asking for forgiveness. Do that. And finally, the summary is the nurture, the love, and spread the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with each other. So love each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with sincerity, some compassion, and it's our duty to treat them equally. If you do not have that love, even then you still have to treat them equally. May Allah give us the tawfiq. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه. MashaAllah. Any question on this before we go on to the hadith?